Greetings guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. A couple of years ago, I made a video about the trending phenomenon known as sad beige moms. And since making that video, this trend has not gone anywhere. It is still going very strong. And so there is an ample load more content to look at and to talk about and dissect. And so today I thought that I would do that because sad beige moms make me sad. Obviously. I am a sad beige mom's worst nightmare, right? Like, they're out with their kids, they see me, and they have to cover their kids' eyes and cross the road. Like, I am what they see in their nightmares. I would be disowned by a sad beige mom. And so naturally, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot to say about this horrifying and deeply upsetting trend of moms decorating their entire houses with no color, right? That's why they're called beige moms, because they don't like color at all. Everything is all neutral. It's beige, it's white, it's gray, it's brown, it's black. Like, those are the only shades that exist, both when it comes to like the color of walls, the color of decor, all the furniture, all the way down to like the toys that their kids have and the clothes that they wear. I don't like it. I think that it's bad and wrong on so many different levels. And so we're gonna have a look at some examples of some sad beige moms and talk about it. So yeah, that's what we're in for today. I wore this today specifically to ward off all the beige moms. So I'm like pretty sure that they're all gone now because they like are blinded by all this color and like don't know how to process it. And since they are all gone, I am going to take it off and change because it's actually much warmer than I thought it was. So give me just a second. I'm currently having the most stressful like month of my life. Kat moved back to New Zealand like last minute with not very much warning. I am having to move in like 4 days and I have barely started packing. And it's been stressing me out of my mind. Like, I am absolutely like losing my mind, as well as the fact that I am still sick from COVID I had a month ago. I'm almost done with some antibiotics and it seems to be helping, so that's good. But all of this to say is that I would really love to have a bit of a break. So if you could help me out at all, by just interacting with this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Subscribing, if you aren't already, is the biggest way to help with everything. I am trying to hit 500k by the end of the year, so I do really appreciate it. And in general, it really does help with pushing this video and all my other videos out as well. I just really appreciate it. I would love to be able to take a minute to breathe and plan a couple videos. Like, I have a couple of big videos coming up and I just have not had the time to put energy into them, but I really would like to do that. So if you could engage with this video, I would really greatly super duper appreciate that. And now that I've done my little tidbit here, let's get into it. Let's have a look at what these beige moms are up to. As I said just a moment ago, something that these moms do is they change the color of toys, turning this princess castle into a one-of-a-kind heirloom. And the princess castle is like pink and purple and blue and like yellow. And it's a classic plastic kids princess castle.
My kids got so many presents for Christmas that some of their toys had to come out of our playroom and get stored in our living room. Because kids' toys are so ugly and unaesthetic, I had to cover up some of the bright pink colors with more neutral tones so it would not look terrible with my decor. The pink and blue of this princess castle was not doing it for me, so I went in with a hammered brown and spray painted over all of these bright colors. I then went in and expertly did some detail work with puff paint and gold leaf so it looked like a gingerbread castle. I only used about a quarter of spray paint on this, so I am so excited to go through my kids' rooms and see what else I can paint brown. This brown metal effect just looks so classy and expensive.
I love ending it with this brown metal look looks so classy and expensive. It looks really bad, actually. I don't like it at all. It looks so ugly. It looks bad. Yeah, you can tell that you don't do this very often. And I love being like, the colors clash with the aesthetic of my living room. Like the pink and the blue and the purple just like doesn't match the neutral toned aesthetic we've got going on. So I have to paint it to look like a gingerbread house and then it'll fit the aesthetic. It's baffling to me because this is ugly. For starters. And also like the thing with having a neutral shaded room is that like if the walls are white and like everything is like neutral, you can have color in there and it doesn't look bad. It just like stands out, right? It's like a statement piece. And like a statement piece being a child's princess castle is definitely a choice for a statement piece. But I think like a very valid choice when you have children who enjoy playing with princess castles. And, you know, they're made to be the color that they are for a purpose. And that purpose is that kids really like color. And they aren't designed for like an aesthetic to fit like a neutral toned house. They are designed to make kids happy. They are designed to like make kids want to play with them and like enjoy playing with them. You've made it look like not something for children, but also not something for anyone. It just looks bad. Like the reason they're designed the way that they are is to engage kids. And I would not be interested in that. I would see it in the shop and I'd be like, I don't want that. If it's pink and purple, I want it. I'm gonna play with it. It looks like this, I don't care about it. It's one surefire way to make sure your kids never play with it ever again. And I was gonna say, you know, like at least it's good that there is a playroom and in there seemingly they have all these like colored toys. And I'm like, okay, great. So they at least have like a space from the entire beige house and have some color in a playroom. But then she went on to be like, I enjoyed doing this. I'm gonna go find other stuff and paint that brown too. Do not do that. Leave them alone. Leave it alone. Kids deserve color. They're allowed color. It's so sad that you're trying to take the color away from them in their lives. Color exists in nature. It like exists in the world. Like I said, like look at me. Look at what I'm wearing, what I was wearing. Like what happens when they go outside and they see me walking around? Are you like covering their eyes and like crossing the road because they don't know how to handle that much color out in the world? And painting everything brown, right? Like are they doing like a reverse Alice in Wonderland? You think like they've got flowers in the garden and they're going out and painting the red roses white? Like everything has to be painted up. You bring things into my house that have any color on them that isn't on the like white to brown spectrum, I'm sorry, but it's being painted into something really ugly so it can sit on a shelf and never be looked at ever again. And then I'll just throw it away because why does no one want to use it now that it's ugly and brown? Why does it matter that much to you? I don't get it at all. When your family gifts your baby toys, ruining the sad beige aesthetic. And it's showing the toys they currently have, which are so depressing. It's in a room where like the floor is like a light beige, the walls are like white and light beige, all the toys are made of wood and painted very neutral colors. Like all of the color that exists, like the yellow and the orange and the red and stuff, they've been like beigified. I don't really know how else to explain that. They look like they've been beigified, like you've put a beige filter over these colors and like softened them and like taken the color out of the colors, which is kind of impressive, honestly. And I find it so funny because like they always say it's like they want a natural look, right? They want everything to be neutral so that it looks natural. Like it's made of wood, so it's got to be like natural colors. You know that color is real. Right? Like color is a very natural thing. You go outside and like there's color everywhere. Like, are you painting your roses white? Like you see the color of a flower, right? Like that is nature, that is natural. There's green everywhere. I hope. Anyway, I've got a lot of green around me. It's sad when you don't have a lot of green around you. But if you don't have any green around you, then that's all the more reason for you to bring color into your home. Because if you live in a concrete jungle where there is literally no green or color anywhere around you, it is extra important to have some in your house. So that when your child doesn't go to a park for the first time, they have a panic attack because there's color that they've never seen before. Acting as though color is not a natural thing is just so bizarre. It's so strange. Color, it is natural, it is everywhere, and it is beautiful. And like denying your kids of like connecting with nature in that way is astounding. Anyway, we haven't even finished the TikTok. I've watched 7 seconds. We're gonna carry on and see what the toys their family bought were.
And now I want to sit back and relax and enjoy my evening. When all of a sudden, I hear this agitating, grating voice.
I mean, what a tragedy. What a tragedy. Buying children toys that are made for children that are like important for enrichment and development. How dare they ruin this aesthetic? How dare they ruin the beige aesthetic? Do they not know that these kids are not allowed to see color? Do they not know that color is earned? You have to earn color. You can't just be handing it out all willy-nilly like this. Toys are made these colors for a reason, right? Like I said already, like they are made these colors because kids love color. They engage with color. It is like stimulating their brain. It's like important for them to have access to this because not only does it help them like learn colors, which then helps them out in the world to be able to like identify colors and like know what things are and how things look, but also just it makes their life more interesting. You know, if you're surrounded by the same monochromatic color palette, like it is not enriching. It is not stimulating your brain in all the same ways, right? And this works for adults as well. Like you can get overstimulated by a room having too much clutter or too much color. And I understand that some people get overstimulated much more easily than other people do. But for a child, they like need that. And you are depriving them of it because of your own aesthetic desires. And that's absurd to me. At the very least, let their bedroom, like their space, have color. Let that be their own. Because you don't have to spend any time in there. That's their space and they should be able to do with it whatever they want. Let them have their colorful toys. Let them have their colorful books. Like it's got nothing to do with the aesthetic of your house. I think a sad beige house is also very sad and boring. But like at least give them the opportunity to have color in their like own space. On these same lines, there's one about clothes instead of toys, which is what I buy my baby, which is again all the neutral tones. It's like natural cottons and fibers and stuff. And then it is what other people buy for him. And it's still, I would argue, very like toned down. It is not very colorful. It's like blue jeans and a white long sleeve top with like outlines of bears that is black. And like this is one of the examples of being like not to the aesthetic, and that's baffling to me because this is the most neutral outfit I've ever seen in my life. This is very much like they tried to fit the mold of what you're doing. What's the issue? Blue denim? Is that the problem? Because that's also like it's cotton. And all the other stuff you've got is cotton. And then the top is just white with black on it. What's the issue? Is it the bears? Do you not want bears? Do you not want animals on your kids' clothes? That's so sad. It's so sad. Like not wanting your kid to have like things they enjoy on their clothes. Being like, you can't dress in patterns. You can't dress in colors. You have to wear clothes that look like they're made for like 70-year-old men. Like just the only colors and only patterns you're allowed is stripes, it's checkers and diamonds, or it's like plain. And the only colors you're allowed are black, white, brown, and beige. That's it. That's the limit of what I will buy my child. They're not allowed, like if they like animals, they aren't allowed to like wear them. Not even if they're in the neutral shades. Even if they are in those colors that I dress my child in, they're not allowed them because like that's too childish? Like what? Why aren't they allowed to wear bears on their top? And the other clothes in this example are gray and black and got like small animal prints again, and the animals have color on them, but it's still very largely like gray and black. That is still the color scheme. It's just got like a tiny bit of color in it, which I think is like such a compromise. That's such a compromise because it's still like mostly to your aesthetic, but it's giving like that tiny little bit of something interesting that your child might connect with and like. And the other one is like a yellow one with some animals on it again. So I'm gonna guess that this kid likes animals and people know that he likes animals, so they're getting him clothes that have animals on them. And his mom is complaining about it because why are they trying to put my kid in clothes that show things that he likes? Why would I want him to dress in things that he wants to wear instead of things that I want him to wear? That seems illogical. I don't understand. Wearing clothes with things that you love on them is such a fun part of just existence in general. Like as a child, that is something that kids love doing so much. Even as an adult, that's something that I love doing. And like being like, no, it's not aesthetic. What are you doing? That's a child. That's a baby. That is a child. Let them wear what they want. It doesn't matter. The aesthetic of your child doesn't matter. You should let them wear whatever the fuck they want, right? Because it doesn't matter. Give them some independence. Give them some choice. Let them make decisions for themselves. Because it doesn't hurt anyone, right? There is an example of that in here, actually.
So I just wanted to come on here and, I don't know, make a fool of myself? Is that the way you say it? So anyway, like when I have my baby shower, I'm like, no plastic toys, like we're really conscious, like eco, natural wood. The girls are gonna wear like nice neutral colors. They wore a lot of black, a lot of neutrals, and I sew for them as well, so like a lot of linen stuff. So my twins are 3.5 now, and I let them dress themselves. So here's the fit. Here's where that got me. And yeah, you're welcome. Show me your accessories. Plastic. How many necklaces? Yep. Barbie shoes. Are those your high heels, are they?
And these girls are decked out in pink. They're both wearing like bright pink, like tutu type dresses over white t-shirts. They've got like pink and purple little like high heeled shoes with bows on them. One of them is wearing a pink fluffy tiara. One of them has like a rainbow like crossbody puppet, whatever bag. They're wearing like lots of beaded necklaces, and this is how I dressed as a child as well. This is how kids love to dress, and the way that they will often choose to dress themselves. And I am really glad in this instance that their mom obviously does let them dress themselves and choose what they want, even if it doesn't fit the aesthetic. Like what the kids want is the priority over the aesthetic of the house and the aesthetic that they want to dress their kids in. Because raising a child to fit an aesthetic is very much just treating them like an accessory and not a person, when, you know, kids are in fact people. I don't agree with dressing your baby in all neutrals and only giving them like neutral toys and not having like any color in their space, because again, I don't think that's giving your baby enough like enrichment. I don't think the environment is stimulating enough. It's like depriving them of so much important like development by just taking color out of their entire lives. But I am glad that once they got to an age where they were able to start making these choices for themselves, they were allowed to do that. And their mom probably was like, okay, all right, my plan didn't work. My kids don't want to carry on this aesthetic, because it's like, yeah, of course they don't. Of course they don't. No kid wants to dress in beige. No kid wants to only wear neutral colors. It doesn't engage them. It doesn't call for them. Like if you gave a child 10 things that were all beige and like one colorful thing, they're gonna go for the colorful thing every time, even if it's the ugliest thing there, because kids they're drawn to color over anything else. They don't know anything about style or fashion or aesthetics. They just want the thing that looks the most fun. They don't care about anything else. It's just about how like fun it is. And obviously these girls are at an age where like they really like princesses, and that's something that they connect to. And like, you know, princesses wear pink and all the princess dresses are pink, and so they want a princess dress, and like that's what they're gonna choose because it's the most fun. That's always how kids are gonna be. No matter how much you try to steer them away from that, they are going to, at the end of the day, ultimately throw you away and be like, I don't care what you say about color. I don't care. I don't care about any of that neutral bullshit. I'm sick of it. I'm bored. I want the most colorful thing ever. I want it to look like a unicorn threw up on it. That is what I want to wear. Those are the toys they're gonna go for. That is what they're gonna do. It's like you see sometimes, you know, these kids with like beige households, they are more likely to draw on the walls and like paint on the walls and stuff, because they just want some color available to them, because they are sick and tired of being surrounded by nothing, especially once they start going out, like, you know, starting at school or kindergarten or whatever, and then they see that there is people dressed in color. There's color on the walls. There's colorful toys. They're now exposed to that, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, I want that. And so they try to bring it into their own home. I'm glad this mother figured it out. I'm glad that she lets her kids dress themselves like this. When I was this age, I've got some great photos of myself when I was able to start dressing myself, where I also dressed like this and also at the same time put makeup like all over my face. If my face wasn't just covered in lipstick, like what is the point? Speaking on like kids coming home from school and whatever and wanting to put color in their environments, there is this one woman whom I've got a few TikToks from her that we're going to talk about, this one woman in particular for a minute now. Starting with this one that actually came up on my For You page recently that relates heavily to what I just said. It says, my daughter not so subtly telling me she's sick of me being a sad beige mom. And she's going into her drawer and pulling out all these blankets and putting them over her bed. Still neutral shades, but there's a few more variations of it. There's like a pink and there's rainbows. The rainbows are like pastel rainbows because for some reason we've decided we want to do pastel rainbows for children now. For whatever reason, we're lying to them about what rainbows look like because obviously we can't have things with synthetic color. It has to be natural color, and rainbows obviously aren't natural, so we have to change the color of them. There is, however, in this room a bright red strawberry plushie. It is the only thing of color that exists, but you know, it's there at least. But yeah, she's covering her bed in these things, and the mother being like, she seems to be sick of me being a sad beige mom, lol, look at her putting color on her bed. And it's just the fact that it really isn't even that colorful that makes this like both so funny and also so sad. Like even the color that she has access to is still boring. Exactly. Yeah, that like pastel, that like neutral tone that's got like a filter over the top of it to like take out the color of the color, which I don't really know how you remove color from color, but these beige moms do a really, really good job of it. And again, like I just think if it's your child's bedroom and their own space, like they should be able to decorate it however they want. The aesthetic that you like is so unimportant to how your child's bedroom looks. That is not your space. You should not get to dictate the way that it is decorated and the things that are in there, as long as they are safe. Obviously, like that should be something that your child gets to decide, right? If she wants a colorful duvet cover or like blankets, then why would you not get that for her? You only have to see that when you're in your child's room, which is really like only at what, like bedtime when she wakes up, whatever. It's not the rest of the house. Again, I think sad beige aesthetics is sad for the whole house, but like whatever. At the very least, your child should be able to choose what's in her room. She should be able to have whatever colored toys she wants, and books she wants, and blankets she wants. All of that she should be able to do. Also, in terms of like dressing, because she's wearing a gray dress, should be able to dress in color as well. Because again, if you are only dressing your child in neutral colors because that is an aesthetic you enjoy, you are just treating your child like an accessory. You are treating your child to an aesthetic. Like you are dressing them to an aesthetic. You are decorating their room and their entire existence to fit an aesthetic that you find pleasing. They're not a doll, you know? They're not there just to look good. That's really the lowest priority. Like, they are not there to be like, oh, my child matches my house. Like, like, what? Why are you dressing your kid to an aesthetic? I just don't understand that. They don't understand fashion or style or trends or anything like that. Like, they are a person who's capable of making decisions, and they should be able to wear what they want, because ultimately the aesthetic and what they choose to wear is so unimportant. It's like the lowest priority on the scale of important, but it's important to them, right? Like, they deserve to be able to have that independence and make decisions like that for themselves. And I do believe that, you know, obviously this kid might be slightly too young to make this decision, but as soon as they're like old enough to be able to choose what color they want their like walls to be, if you own your house and you're not renting so you can't change the color of the walls or whatever, then I do think they should be able to make that decision for themselves, right? There's something so exciting when I was a kid about like being able to choose the color of my walls, and they didn't change very often. I think I only changed them like 2 or 3 times in my life, but it was like such a big cool thing to be able to like design your room in the way that you want it to be. You get to put up posters and art and like paint your walls in the way that you want it to be. When I was 9, the way I painted my room was I had like, it was bright green on the bottom and then a thick black line that was like like rolling hills, and then the top was like a dark metallic blue. So my room was painted like it was like hills and a night sky. And I loved that. That was so, so cool. And I just think that it's like such a fun thing for kids to be able to do, and to be able to have a space that is their own and feels like their own, and that like they have contributed to their own environment and surroundings. And I don't think you should be able to dictate what they have in their room as long as it's safe. If it's interesting to them and it's something that they are drawn to and they want to play with or wear or whatever, then they should be able to do that, because clearly it like appealed to them in some sort of way. And if they are going to engage with it because of the way that it looks, then I think that that's important to allow them to do that, right? Because engaging with toys and playing with toys, like most toys exist to teach kids something, right? They are there to teach them a skill, or like how to use their brain in specific ways, to like engage in certain ways, use their imaginations, etc. And so if you are like not allowing them to get things that they're actually interested in going to use, you are depriving them of like that learning experience and connecting with something like that. And if you are like changing the way that it looks, or only buying things that is not going to entertain them in the same way, you are just depriving them of learning in the way that they are going to connect to. And you should always give your kids the best opportunity to learn. And that includes color. I'm not saying you have to buy them every single thing that they like, because, you know, we're all in different financial situations and whatever, and you can't always afford to buy every single toy that they want. But like occasionally, when you can, when you're good for it, or if you're going to buy like either this beige toy that they don't give a fuck about, or like a fun toy that they really do like, pick the fun one that they like and are gonna actually engage with. Seems obvious to me, but you know, apparently we have to spell this out now. This mom makes a bunch of videos on clothes and dressing her kid all in neutrals. She did actually make one video about this where she says, POV, you're a sad beige mom, but dress your daughter in pink in public so people don't tell me how cute my son is. The fact this child only has access to one color, and it is pink. And it's pink because it's for a gender box. Like, not only are they being deprived of like color in their house, in their day-to-day life, like they are not allowed to have color around them because it ruins the aesthetic that their mother finds appealing. But they are also being put in a gender box. I love caring more about people correctly gendering your child than her actual development, right? Like, that's wild. That's wild to me. I don't care about like color being important to my child. That's not important to me. I don't really care about that. I want them to like fit this aesthetic that I have. I want to dress them in a way that I find pleasing to like look at, and I want them to like look good with what I'm wearing and like with the house. But I will make an exception and put them in pink, because I really don't like when people call my toddler, who has no concept of gender, my son. Like, it frustrates me beyond belief, and I don't like it, and I don't want to keep correcting people. So I'm going to teach my child that pink is for girls so that people can correctly gender her. Okay. I'm depriving them of color except for telling them which color is associated with which gender is wild work. Absolutely wild work. My good God. Your kids don't know what gender is really. Like, they do kind of, but it's what like we teach them, right? So like you teaching specific, being like, pink is for girls. I'm going to put her in pink because then she will know she is a girl and everyone will know she's a girl. And my son will be in blue. So then people correctly assume he is my son, and a boy. So he is in blue. And that's the color. The only colors that your kids know about is really upsetting. I will say, like, I think that, you know, we all assume genders of babies based off of color, like, subconsciously, which I find really interesting, because yeah, you are going to see a baby in pink and automatically assume it's a girl. You're going to see a baby in blue, automatically assume it's a boy. I think a lot of the time people still go for like the neutral option, being like a son. It's kind of like if they're in anything other than like pink or purple or like yellow, which for some reason are like girl colors, then people just assume boy, which is fascinating because again, colors they're not gendered. We've all just like subconsciously taken this on. But at the same time, if someone misgenders your like young child, it doesn't really matter that much. You just correct them and carry on. I think that people should be more conscious and like check themselves before automatically assuming. But at the end of the day, it's not really got that much of an impact at all. And I think that dressing your child in colors specifically so people correctly gender them is really weird. And it just continuously like reinforces gender ideology, but also I expect nothing less than her because she is a Republican. So she made a whole video defending Charlie Kirk and talking about the situation and being like, it's so sad. I don't talk about politics, but I do have a political affiliation and Jesus and, so it's not surprising that gender norms are like the priority in her kids' development. It's just very upsetting. Imagine saying I neglect my kids when they have clean clothes, warm beds, food on the table, lots of toys and books, a mum and dad that love them and point them to Jesus. That last point is so irrelevant. Imagine saying that I'm a neglectful mom when I point my kids towards Jesus. That can mean anything. That can be positive and negative. Well, it can be neutral. It can be not bad, but it also can be bad. Like, you can be neglectful and religious. Like, that last point is so, not relevant to this conversation. But secondly, also, I don't think people are saying you're like neglecting your kids. Like, you aren't like neglectful per se. You are like just depriving them of something important. I guess that is kind of neglect, but I think that there's a scale. When people say like you're neglecting your kids, it usually means something like very, like you don't feed them or you're like leaving them by themselves for long stretches of time. Like you're not like looking after them. So I understand being defensive and being like, I don't neglect my kids because I feed them and I love them and I clothe them and whatever. But that doesn't take away from the fact that you are depriving them of like important developmental environment, right? Like depriving them of color is still damaging their development. Depriving them of color is still taking away their independence and like not allowing them to make decisions for themselves and instead viewing them more as accessories and like dolls that you have control over rather than people who have their own thoughts and feelings and desires and want to express that, right? Like you are depriving them of their individuality and independence, which, okay, maybe it's not neglect, but it's also not good. And you don't have to be doing that. You can give them that independence and that individuality and like listen to them, prioritize their wants over your own. Food for thought. She has this TikTok as well, which is like, it's kind of beige mommy, but it's also like very crunchy, right? And I do think beige moms and crunchy moms do sit at the same table. Like I think most, if not all, beige moms are also crunchy moms. And then most crunchy moms, if not all crunchy moms, are also beige moms. So they are holding hands. And this video I think is a perfect display of that. This says, life hack if you're mostly a dye-free parent. And she pours Skittles into a sieve and then runs them under the tap so that all the color comes off and they're now just white and puts them back in the bag to give to her small child. Like, okay, she's saying that it's because she doesn't want her kids consuming dye. Like, it's not got anything to do with the color and the aesthetic of the color. However, she's still taking the color away. So I'm counting it as a beige mom thing. But also, I just find it objectively hilarious that the only problem she has with Skittles is like the dye. Because most crunchy moms I've encountered, like the dye is a problem, but also it's all the like refined sugars and like all the chemicals in it and everything else that's not like organic and natural. I mean, I'm glad that stuff isn't something that bothers her so much, but it is deeply funny to me to just like wash off dye from some Skittles and be like, this is a healthy fruit snack now. Like, that's just so funny and so stupid. So stupid. Also, wet Skittles. That's gross. That's gross. They're gonna like feel like they were in someone else's mouth first. That's horrible. Why? What was the purpose of this? What was the point? Is like, realistically, is like 4 Skittles, like the dye from 4 Skittles, if the dye came off that quickly and that easily, there is not very much dye in there. What do you think that's gonna do to your child? How do you think that's gonna impact? It's not. Like, it's okay. But it is gonna make them really confused as to why they're getting white Skittles. I'd be less inclined to eat white Skittles, to be fair. If you handed me white Skittles, I probably wouldn't be interested in them. Like, the reason they're colors is partially because it makes them, you want to eat them more. Maybe that's just me, but if someone put white Skittles in front of me, if I got 2 bowls put in front of me, one of them was plain white Skittles, one of them was rainbow Skittles, the white ones are not being touched. Like, I'm not eating them. I'm eating all of the colorful ones. I'm not eating the white ones. Are you kidding? Partially because I don't know what flavor they're gonna be, and I don't want that surprise. But also just because these ones look more fun, and those are the ones that I'm gonna choose. And you're making Skittles sad, and I didn't even know you could make Skittles sad, but you've done it. Congratulations. She has this one video, and this isn't really about her being a beige mom so much and what she does to her kids, but this is, to me, really interesting because I just find it really funny. And this is her showing her sister's bedroom and her bathroom and being like, wow, look how much color. And are you ready to see what these rooms look like?
Kind of a funny thing. We all kind of know my vibe, what my house, my room looks like. You don't know what my sister's room looks like. I'm at my parents' house right now. I'm just going to show you it because our vibes could not be any more different. First, you go into the bedroom and you just see there's already so much more than what I have. But then you go into her bathroom and you realize that, yeah, there's a lot of color in this place and it just couldn't be me. Like, look at that. That's so cute. Me and my sister are super different. I think her bathroom's gorgeous, but I don't know. I'm liking color though. I'm starting to like color.
And it's just so funny. It's so funny because this is like going into this bedroom being like, it's a lot. Going into the bathroom, like, there's so much color. In case you couldn't see that, let me explain to you what's going on here, all right? So in the bedroom, you walk in, it has got a really nice colored wall. It's like a dark, like forest green wall, which is really nice. The bed is like a natural wood. It's like a cream duvet, but there's like a pink blanket on it. There's a plant in the corner. On a shelf, it's just like bits and pieces that obviously have color because it's like makeup products and that sort of stuff. That's it. That's it. That's her being like, whoa, so much color. There's a green wall and a pink blanket. I need you to like calm down about that being a lot of color. I would say that these two rooms are very toned down. They are very uncolorful. I would not call either of these rooms colorful at all. I would be like, oh, I really like this room. Like, if it's empty, I'd be like, I like this room because it has colored walls, because I love a good colored wall. I love that. But if I'm moving in there, it's going to have so much color and so much clutter because otherwise it's sad and boring and understimulating. And it's astounding to me to go into this room and being like, there's a lot. What does your house look like? How empty is your house? How these poor kids... These poor kids have nothing to look at. Just being in like just this sad beige like jail cell. Like, even if the room is big, if it's empty, what's the point, right? Like, what's going on? And if we don't like the like colors, does that mean they're not getting like the fun little like cars and things they can sit on and like run around on in their house, or are we like spray painting those like white and beige? Just again, so sad. It's so sad. I think they like bring home art from school and they've like painted it with crayons and stuff, and they're like, sorry, this one has too much color to go up on the walls. We can't display this. I'm just gonna put it in this folder over here, but like it ruins the aesthetic, honey. So like you can do your paintings, but just know that they like don't have a spot on the fridge because they're the wrong color and we don't allow color in this house. These kids have to like just be like growing up, existing, having to keep color away from their houses at all times. It's just imagine a kid at school like painting with nothing but brown and black, and their teachers being like, not going to use any color, and they're like, no, my mom won't put it on the wall unless I only use these colors. I wouldn't know how to react to that, honestly. That would be it'd be pretty sad. Do you think when they're older, you know, when they invite kids over to their house, the kids have to like match the aesthetic? They have like beige robes. They have like beige robes at the door. You come into the house and before you're allowed like in, you have to put on a beige robe and cover all the color that you're wearing so you don't ruin the aesthetic of the house, right? And kids are messy too. They get sticky, they get dirty, they get paint on their hands at school, they go outside and play, they get dirt on their clothes. Like, how are these parents gonna cope? If their houses have to be like so minimalistic and lacking of so much color, like having a kid is not a thing that is gonna work out for you, because again, kids like color, kids need color, but also like then things aren't gonna stay in this order, right? They're gonna make a mess. they're gonna, and if there's not enough stuff, not enough color, and they're understimulated, they are gonna like throw their shit around. Like the girl who was just getting a bunch of blankets and throwing the blankets on her bed because there's not enough. So it's like, I need more, right? It will be getting toys and scattering them over the floor just so there's things to look at, even if they're boring to look at. It's just like, they want things. They need to see things, and being in just an empty, sad room is, they're not gonna enjoy it. They're not gonna spend any time at home as soon as they get the opportunity to not spend any time at home. Once they start school and things and they see what like an environment, like a stimulating environment looks like, they're gonna be just so sad when they come home, and likely probably ask a lot of questions as to why their house doesn't look like that, and they'll want like the toys and stuff that they have at school and be told like, no, you're not allowed that, and that's gonna cause a lot of resentment later in life, I'm sure. Yeah, so these are some sad beige moms and a few of my thoughts on it. I had the opposite of a sad beige growing up. My mom is a color fiend. Like, you think I'm colorful? My mom somehow outdoes me. My rebellious phase was when I wore black. Like, that's my mom, I don't think has ever bought a piece of neutral clothing ever. Maybe when she was younger, she was given some neutral stuff, but she has never had a neutral piece of clothing on her body or like bought for myself or my sister or anything, like literally ever. I don't even think she would have ever bought me anything that was like white. So yeah, so that's my perspective. Color is important. I love color. Beige moms are scared of me, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on beige moms, and let me know if you grew up with beige parents and how that impacted you. Or like, if you are a beige parent, why? Anyway, a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Polar Bee, Sienna, Alicia, Marielle, Bree, Bay the Trucker, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic Petey, Sushi Kawaii, Phil the Duck, Jessie, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, Alexis, and Bobby. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.